MaJaMa Jams is brought to you by Extreme Loneliness.
Welcome back, everyone, to MaJaMa Jams, a show where we discuss Enzo Sorrentino because what the F? Oh my God, we are now a fan account. Guys, thank you for coming back to the corner of the MaJaMaverse that we like best. Scraps, the subsect where we dive into the table scraps that fell off during the main meal. Little weird things that are much shorter in length than a movie, but not much shorter in length in the way we edit them because we're so damn passionate about them. Now, thanks for being with us on the couch.
Shit.
I don't edit shit. I don't put this paper up. I don't edit the skits, but I do have a very loud voice, and if it was up to Matthew, he would never be able to walk us through this show. So I feel like I have a tiny bit of legitimacy in making the machine run, just enough to not feel pointless in this venture like I do in the rest of life. So guys, let's get into it today.
Baby.
First there was La Polizia Indaga il Crimine, which introduced us to Mr. Enzo Sorrentino. We followed it up with the 1-2 punch of Spider Enzo.
It's Spider-Man, yes, it's Spider-Man who protects the city.
And of course, the black wings of a vampire. And we are back today with 16 minutes of WTF energy from the Italian Tommy Wiseau himself. Matteo, what is today's entry called?
It's called Miracolo sul Sentiero, which means miracle on the path.
Miracolo de Sontilo, which means miracle on the path. Now, no one has any idea what is going on, and my brother wanted to die, and even the fly bait of Enzo Sorrentino didn't get him to want to do it. So for maximum on-screen awkwardness, which he'll look back and love when he's not in this moment, and watching the show with me on the couch, because we're the main audience of Jams at this moment, embarrassing or not, this moment. Matthew, break it down. What is La Pacia du La Macchia? What is the plot?
There is no linear storyline.
Exactly.
It's a Lazarus story.
Is sure.
First off the bat, we realized that Enzo Sorrentino is working like a Kevin Smith or like an Adam Sandler or a Tarantino because he apparently has a stable of actors. We have once
He also
again.
has a stable.
He also has a literal stable.
Yes.
Mateo, sometimes they're not just wordplays. That was once again a flawless joke. There is a stable in the movie, for those of you who don't know, too,
I
actually.
don't think I can watch these even to laugh at them anymore. It's like watching police crime scene footage to figure out who was the murderer and what happened. Just it's there were actual attempts in this to be comedic, so I can't tell if he's like, okay, I'm going to tell a slice of life, somewhat funny story that has a religious tone. Somewhere,
Like
the tone somewhere.
One tone somewhere, slice to fine tone.
But in terms of, I mean, regardless of whether it's a short or a skit or a movie, whatever you want to call it, there's no linear storyline that connects the beginning to the middle to the end.
Well, here's what I love about...
There's not even a beginning, a middle, and end. It's just like a series of things.
And it's if he's doing internet glitch, jokey humor, he's doing it pretty well, but there are so many technical mistakes that legitimizes him, but there's so many weird jokes, but then there's intentional, like this is obviously supposed to be comedy moments where I just don't know.
Well, okay,
anymore.
look, I don't know if, again, our other, the people we always mention in this category, Tommy Wiseau, James Wynn, and Neil Breen, the psychopath, you can buy their movies, but that's or rather, you buy their movies, and that's mostly like you own them on DVD. People have parties. People go to screenings. Neil Breen stuff is online, but it almost seems like Enzo exists online,
Yes.
as far as we know. So, like
Maybe
you said,
he's not real.
I don't know
Is
if
it
he's.
AI or
Imagine he's just an AI.
It's a very early.
yes, very very first attempt.
So I don't know if he's tripling down on the internet humor, but out of all those people, he makes me feel like, okay, you don't have an argument. Those people are just earnestly making movies that are bizarre. Like Enzo has Monty Python's Spanish Inquisition pop out of nowhere.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
In a scene where they're otherwise sitting in a stable.
Is there context to it?
And
No.
I mean, at face value, no. But is there? What could it? I mean,
it's a more interesting
I
case than
really
the other
don't
one.
know.
I
Because
would even say Travolta is a little bit more weird because at least
Yes.
with the Monty Python.
And Twin Peaks.
Yes, God.
And there's always music in here.
At least there's a religious connection to the.
I really think that, again, it could be the fact that I'm talking about an internet medium versus a one way or another film medium, but the evidence would seem to be there when you pop up the Spanish Inquisition for a second that there's some. Of course, this is intentionally
Yes.
comedic. I mean, we have basically a Lazarus story.
But no one even notices it. It's
No.
it's like for us and the the priest who's sweeping up the stable doesn't even notice it, or then he's disappeared from that scene, but then he comes back, and then Travolta shows up from
Yes.
Pulp Fiction.
Well, do you think it's the end of The Amazing Bulk? Where the director kind of, hey, when we watched the behind the scenes, he shockingly seemed genuinely excited to find those plugins. He was like,
While researching the film, I discovered numerous online sites where I was able to purchase and download these various images. Now, some I bought from sellers on eBay, such as AWC Production, Elson Productions, G-Man Video, iPhoto Video, Cellmark, and Wilson Graphics. Others I was legally able to download for free.
and the end of the movie
Copy.
that's not even a joke.
Drag.
Sometimes what the comedic brain takes as an angle is the actual way it is. The end of Amazing Bulk plays like he just copied everything and slapped it on for the last 10 minutes. Enzo's insertions almost seem like a similar.
Ew, man. Don't talk about Enzo's insertions like that.
Did you know there's a way that you can make the Monty Python guys appear? I can do it, so I will.
No, but there was a guy who did the effects.
Oh, right.
Not special.
We don't know if it's the same guy who did the effects for Spider Enzo, though.
That I don't
He
know.
does keep a pretty tight crew, though.
I can check, yes.
All right, so as I was saying, we have our Dracula back. We have our pancake titty lady back. We have our young
kid.
back. We have, isn't there another?
The
The black guy.
Is
Yes.
from the Wet Black Wings?
the black
Yeah,
guy.
he was
The one Italian black man.
Yes, the relative of the deceased.
Yes.
It looks like him.
The resurrected dude was the dude who played the Renfield in Black
Yes.
Wings.
He was?
Yeah.
And there is, for the second time in the 4 movies that we have, for 4 projects that we did
Careful
of
with these
Enzo
words,
Sorrentino,
guys.
there is Enzo Sorrentino.
Oddio mio. Oddio. Gesù.
Yeah.
Sorry, you mean George Lucas?
As George Lucas.
in full George Lucas cosplay.
Yes. He's dressed as George Lucas in that clip when he walks behind the guy.
The interesting thing is they call it pyroprocessing, but it's a molten salt process. They're dissolving this thing in a molten salt, and they're doing electrochemistry on it. Why don't they call it molten salt? They want no association with molten salt.
Is he wearing socks to clean up a stable with
know.
a pitchfork? There's like 3 strands of straw on the floor and using a massive pitchfork to move them around.
You want to chuck your shoes off for cleaning the horse manure?
And
The bottom is still covered if I step on something.
Maggie. Signore, buonasera. Consegui.
MaJaMa.
Buonasera.
Aspettato.
Tutto bene?
Tutto bene, tutto bene.
All right. So we open with a man dead.
No, we open with...
Oh,
You didn't break down the plot.
what plot? Stop using those words,
A
man.
man is resurrected, Lazarus
The end.
style, and people react as if
They're
he came back
fine.
from getting groceries.
Yes.
Hey,
You
were dead.
Yeah.
We were at your funeral.
And yes, they mentioned that they were at his funeral when he was actually clearly in bed.
Like the body was never moved from where he died.
Yeah.
Caro Gennaro, tu che sei salito là sopra, adesso avrai un'altra famiglia, lassù. Addio, caro Gennaro. Prendi, prego.
Maybe that was a funeral when they stood around his bed.
Probably.
And why is he wearing shoes?
Bring it home, that we're digging the grave, and then we'll bring it back. There is, first of all, there is Dracula in the... No, not Dracula. The boss...
He's dressed like E.T.
I think... I think it's the boss from La Polizia da Castellina.
Wait, the...
Yeah,
no, not the...
I kept thinking like he looks like just a giant baby, but yeah, E.T.
He's more as a closer. Also, the resemblance.
When he does the split screen
yeah.
effect so it's half the face.
Hallelujah.
That's what I'm saying. He's like, look, I just discovered they have a filter where you can... That's going
Let's
in.
use it, yes.
But someone's doing this for him. So I
Yes.
think the person who's doing it is like, okay, let's make this intentionally
I would give anything.
weird.
Give me this is a magic scenario, so snap it so that I understand fluent Italian, make me invisible,
Give me a gun.
and put me in the room
I'm sure that
when
even
it's
if-
being
No,
edited.
you need to be inside that man's brain.
Even if you understand
You need to be
Italian, you
tearing
would-
apart his
Dude,
synapses.
we need to get you interviewing this guy and figuring out a way to ask, explain yourself?
We need Chris Hansen.
Could you explain yourself? I'm sorry.
It's
First, no, there is the first scene. There's the already supernatural of the guy sitting in the church, and the priest who arrives and kneels down twice. He puts the hand of his head, and
Oh, he
then
goes, boop,
he vanishes.
Oop, gotcha. Bless,
Vanished.
bless.
Tag, you're it.
He looks like the dude from Law and Order, who always wears the glasses.
Yeah, he is also.
He was in North. Larry
Richard Belzer.
Santoni, Richard Belzer.
He is also in. I think that Enzo did during the pandemic. He did the Man Who Came from the Sea or something like that. So there is first this person at the beginning who is in the church, who would appear later on in front of the nativity scene that says, "Lord, you gave."
He's just in the picture though.
He's in the picture.
If nothing else,
With
at
the
least Enzo
flawless
knows how to
effects.
properly frame a CGI
Like
picture.
like he does that 20 times throughout this thing, where there are supposed to be paintings, murals, whatever on the wall, and they're just literally plastered on their shot and shot, whatever it's called.
It would be as if here I would put a photo of Jason pretending to be that is hanging on the wall, and we just like put one photo here like this, and it's
with the most minimal effort possible that you're like, okay, he's got to be doing this intentionally as a joke to make it look bad, but it's in the context of this. The first scene takes place in a church. They actually filmed in a church. It seems pretty straightforward and normal up to that point. So you think, okay, he's trying to make it look like there's this padre in the painting that we're going to be able to meet later in live action.
Well, you just made me also think of something. Am I correct in assuming that a gentleman of his age in Italy, usually you guys are more religious?
What the hell's...
No, my point being, it seems like on the
That's
north
what I was
there would
wondering.
be a
That's what I
reverence
was-
for the filming
No, yeah,
location.
I know. I'm sure that he is effectively religious and fairly charitable. As I told you, he always helps
not enough.
stray animals.
Not enough.
But I'm saying that's a coin in the. He's filming that church scene. He probably takes that seriously, as opposed to like, let's go in the church and waka waka.
Well, then again,
Gesù.
Yeah, no, I think that.
Wait, was that in the church?
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
yeah,
he had
we
the giant
don't know where
plaster of
that was.
Jesus.
Yes.
Unless he's had
It's a classic.
has that in his house.
Because if you notice, he removes the glasses, he puts them back off, then he thought about it as he is acting. He said, "Oh no, I should do a gag." So he takes them off again.
Oddio mio. Oddio. Gesù.
Because, you know.
And is he trying to?
I mean,
why would taking your glasses off make you hear better?
Because why don't you dub Jesus for every single line? Thank God that he repeats the lines, because otherwise, oh Jesus, what should I do?
Jesus, did you have something you want to say to me?
Del Padre, Figlio e dello Spirito Santo. Farò tutto quello che dice Gesù.
Devi andare alla stalla.
Va bene, incontrerò tuo padre. In una stalla, in una casa vecchia, dove lo incontrerò? La mia fede mi porterà da lui. Va bene. Io gli dirò di salvare il mondo.
Sì.
Oh, you want me to do that? Oh, you were saying that I should do this.
It's like when you're in play and the other person forgets the line, so you try to say their lines in like
yeah.
I think you were thinking that you wanted to go down the hall. Did you want to read something from your book?
Oh, you just came from home. From your look, it looks like you just came from home after watching a movie or something. It's very weird.
Anyway, Jesus, what's going on with you? Straight through the hands, Mike.
And then, of course, the best thing ever.
Go ahead.
When the dead guy died, I mean resurrects, returns or something, whatever, that he comes with, Wella!
Willard!
Signore.
He passes by.
Oh boy, you know.
And then, even there's one shot before he resurrects where you get the flash of his body covered in the blue
Yes, there's
light
a
for a
blue
second before it
something.
leaves.
Then they jump. The relatives are from one side of the bed, and then on the other side of the bed. Then there is the woman. Then there is E.T. Then there is a little kid, and then there is a half E.T. And
You know, even the way that the man's grumpy face is in the, I mean,
Which one?
yes, the
Because there are too many
Dracula.
okay.
Even the way Dracula's perennial grumpy face is, which is just use one expression, but like, there's something to his grumpy face wrapped in that where I'm like, again, the Zucker brothers, if they were to direct an old man to be like a funny stoic, it would be like I don't. It's
It
to
looks
me,
like
it's
that
more.
You want to find something just to squeeze and
It looks
kill.
like that he told him, look, before we eat the steak, here's a lemon. Just chew on this.
Keep it in there.
Exactly. Keep it in your mouth and see what happens.
I mean, now I'm getting more and more curious if you're, like, the translation would work to others. Like, hey, guys, you love The Room, you love James Wynn. like, you also see this. Is this also crazier to you, or is it more of the same? Because Enzo, I think he's more interesting because, and again, it may have a ton to do with the medium. He may, like, I think the guy that responded to us and said he was the editor or a friend, whatever it was, he was like, he does try.
I'm actually caregiver. He's in an institution. He's not supposed to be released to the world. They're just for fun, you know, stop him from hurting himself. How did you get this email address?
Take away the camera from him.
He needs care. He's been putting those online.
He is unwell. We told you that.
No, but he said basically, like, he does try to do this internet humor even if he doesn't understand it.
He's definitely got an eye and ear towards it, so he knows.
Yes.
But there's way more of, you can more easily, without sounding like a fringe conspiracy theory psychopath, make the case that he's doing this for the thrill as opposed to trying to make a movie. Although, like we said, after the last Big Shark, I'm more convinced that Tommy is a brilliant, askew, comedic, his own frequency enough that you will laugh. I don't know. There's still no answers, and Enzo is so goofy.
Anzi lasciamo, Miracolo, è un miracolo.
A che a me?
Sui cicambezzi.
E se a me stai a faticare?
Tu sei molto troppo pulito, però vogliamo dire io forse adesso no. Vai, Madonna mia, meno male.
Hallelujah.
I think that clearly he likes. He likes being in front of the camera, hence all of the, or rather than hence, as amplified by, that's not a word, as it clearly visible by all the jokes that he makes, the ballads, the impressions that he does at home.
Right, he's a natural clown.
Born killer. But when he makes his movies, it looks like sometimes my theory is this. He is torn between trying to make a legitimate movie and doing something they say, oh, that's what...
That will get the hook.
Yes. But at the same time, much like an alien, it doesn't really understand how these things work. Because there are genuinely some stuff that you say, it doesn't make sense, it's not funny, it's confusing. Why is it in there?
Ritorna da noi, Gennaro, ritorna da noi. Signore.
Well, do you think he has an eye towards the so bad it's good? Because that's my main question at this point.
Because it's so overt that you're like, you have to be attempting to make...
It's so weird.
And also strange because if he were to be, it would be a rare case, like we talk about, of intending to do that and succeeding. Which we say usually it's not,
Yes.
you don't get the high unless the director is honest. You
Yes.
can't be like, I want to make something they'll analyze on the couch because it's so, and then it comes out weird. So if he were, and let's say we confirm that, it'd be interesting because that would be like, okay, you intended to and you did, which usually doesn't work. Usually it's the honesty,
Yes.
and then we laugh because you can
I
see.
think it's the marriage, if he is intentionally trying to make something so bad it's good or so weird it's good, but that's, I guess, a tricky line to walk because so bad it's good is a little bit different than so weird it's interesting to watch. There's so many bad filmmaking mistakes, just blatantly, so that I know not all of them are intentional. Just
Yeah.
I mean, but then again, I guess I can't say that. I guess I can't say that 100%. But like just the shots that don't match up, where people are standing around the bed or cutting too soon, or the picture that lasts into the next frame.
That's
like,
but, okay,
if that is done intentionally, then okay, I gotta give him props because
there's a
not that it's that crazy to think of, but it's done so well.
No, that's what I'm saying. There is was it you were saying you always make the case it's hard to intentionally be that bad. The picture into the next moment, it's like they're okay.
So like a couple frames is one thing, but
no,
yeah,
but
like
let's say
2
you're
seconds,
like
3 seconds.
We want to do that effect as well as we possibly can to facilitate when nerds watch it, they cackle at the supposed incompetence. So with the self-aware hat on, I feel like
Did you just say incompetence?
Did I say incompetence?
That could be a beautiful kind of marriage.
Yes, incompetent.
Enzo Sorrentino is high in incompetence. If me and you were sitting at a computer trying to sculpt it, I feel like the language he does of have it askew, have it fade into the next one, leave it for a second and go away, it's almost like that language is on point of how do we make them laugh at the incompetence? And if it's not, then it's still funny. So like, why does it so perfectly work to have us laugh at it? It's so beautiful how it stays into the next shot.
But the thing is that probably, and this is it took me 5 times of watching that thing, which is...
That's not a recommended dosage.
No, it should be taken in small doses at distance of 9 months, one from the other. That is the thing. I noticed on the 5th time. And
what? You've watched this 5 times?
I when we did the other episodes, I remember that I took... I think I take actually that scene... because we were talking about incompetence.
Oh yes, you played that.
And so I was looking for because I remember that over there was, but the thing is that it doesn't jump at your eyes. Probably have I not told you that wasn't fading with the image, probably you wouldn't have paid attention.
That was pretty blatant though.
It was blatant, but the first time that Alberto and I watched it.
Really?
Yeah.
Even for you?
Yeah.
Because you're so flabbergasted.
Because I was just like I was taking everything.
We know Alberto discovered it and told you, but my question is this a genuine in the wild stumble upon? Has he told you?
I think so.
A genuine stumble upon. Just like the way Paulo discovered us. You just trip and you discover an episode and you're there like,
oh my God, what is this?
I think. It was part of a discussion group, and somebody brought it up. And so Alberto, being naturally curious for this kind of stuff,
like a movie group.
Yes, he investigated it, and he wrote me and say, "Oh my God, I found the mother lode." and oddly enough, it was about a month before I was flying to Italy, so we did the whole Christmas. It was Enzo Sorrentino's.
Oh my God! That sounds magical.
Yeah.
Where does he live?
Do
you know?
I think it's in Salerno, in the southern part of Italy, or around there, that area.
You imagine if we had money and we could do a MaJaMa special. We'd go to Italy and track down Enzo and do an in-person interview and do a movie with him.
One of us is going there in a few months.
If I can break out, rather.
We have to know.
But
we have to know what's going on in his mind.
From the perspective of someone who speaks the language, is there anything else that we've missed seeing it translated?
No.
Does it come across as earnest and I mean, obviously, like I said, there's obvious comedy in here. Even the line of, hey, have a seat.
Buonasera. Aspettata.
When he's already sitting down, and I think it's a joke of, when someone walks right through your front door, like, oh, just come right in. I think it's supposed to be comedic.
Like, have a seat.
But then there's like, wait, what?
or simply it was, there is a famous outtake. I don't remember if it's episode 1 or 2.
Where are you going?
To find Obi-Wan.
No, you're not.
Let go of me.
this could have been the same thing. That he was saying, oh, he arrives and says, sit down. But it's that this guy arrived and sat down.
But then why the laughing?
Because he realized that it was such a stupid thing that he had done.
If it was real laughing, but it just sounds like.
He was like, hey, have you ever heard Seth Rogen and Beavis and Butthead? Picture if they effed each other.
Ti lasciamo,
Miracolo.
è un miracolo.
A che è?
Sui cicambezzi.
E se a me ti a faticare?
Tu sei molto troppo pulito, però vogliamo dire io fuori da città. Vai, Madonna mia, meno male.
Hallelujah.
I feel like there's more a sense of you're in the room or in Birdemic, you're just going along of the motions of a movie. You're doing so incredibly poorly, but it's at least chugging along. With Enzo, it's like bang, pow, swip, what, zoop,
It's different because most of the times, like you say, when someone tries to make something so bad it's good, it's obvious and it falls flat.
Yes.
But this one
or it's done in such an exaggerated way that it becomes
obvious.
Funny because they say, oh, look how I'm making fun of the incompetence of this kind of stuff.
But this is just so perplexing because it walks the line. It can walk in both worlds.
Yes. And it's not, and after having watched these movies and all the others that I found so far, I really cannot understand. I have not formed an idea whether it's intentional or not.
Well, he also keeps, as we talked about last time, he keeps going. It's not like hey, if you look at my YouTube channel 5 years ago, I did some videos. It didn't really work, but they're still there. But I did a couple. I stopped. My life took over. He keeps going, and as we said, with no apparent improvement. And I do think they're genuinely a blast to watch. Is the other thing. Like we've talked about. Hey, do you want to put on Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus? That sounds like a blast. Wait, it isn't. It's just a crappy slog through it. Enzo always works. It always has the effect of like what every time.
Buonasera. Aspettate. Ma dove è Dolcetto? Mi faccio giù, io. Fatto qua. Tutto bene.
And there's the worst music in here.
Allora ce n'è mai?
Sì. Andiamo insieme.
Buonasera.
Buonasera.
Ciao.
Ciao. Buonasera. Tutto buono.
So
we were watching and I turned to Matthew and he was just like this.
Yeah.
That's a certain point. I'm not even laughing at it. It's just like what, why, what?
Yes, it was a complete flat line of understanding.
Well, what is this? We literally end on what? Almost 5 minutes of just Enzo Lucas in the stable with a Kevin Smith static shot in the Clark's thing, and just go with 5 minutes.
With
of
also a moment like, oh, move it like this, move it so that I can see the horse, or move, I can see.
Or he'll hold the cross and turn towards the camera.
Come ce l'avevate voi la croce? Così? Oh, come?
Così.
Fatemi vedere. Fate proprio come eravate morto, così.
Okay, I'm not mistaken. They established this cross as special, and then after he eats, Enzo literally wipes his face with it.
Ma ditemi una cosa. Buono sto vino.
I think he's just scratching holes in the cross.
I think he's just like.
Once again, I think for a devout Catholic, even him parroting or making jokes about religion and Christianity, or that he's able to talk to Jesus and he pokes himself in the eye with his own glasses. He wouldn't make a joke about wiping his mouth on a cross. I don't think this type of guy would cross that line.
I think that simply he
wouldn't cross that line.
He drank and he had the glass over here and he wanted to wipe because he's drinking the wine in a hurry, because otherwise.
Una cosa meravigliosa.
Bevite, se no si raffredda.
See, is that a joke? Is that a joke?
I don't know.
Why is the language so funny? Like, if you guys came to me with a line for a skit where it's like, hurry up, drink your wine before it gets cold, I'm like, that's a beautiful, subtle little funny. You know, it's not nuclear, but it's one of those things, quick little zinger. I feel like there's a language to them, at least to someone that thinks about comedy nonstop. And drink your wine before it gets cold. That's funny. Imagine Leslie Nielsen saying, hey, you're going to want to drink your wine before it gets cold, Jane.
Also, him saying, "Oh, good evening, madame," to the horse 3 times. Once again, makes me think, okay, you were just filming a bunch of stuff, and then you're gonna cut this up. You're gonna cut to a couple close-up shots, a shot reverse shot, a static shot. But instead, it's just we're here.
Just a static
we're there,
shot. Yes.
And we're out.
Chi è? Oh! Signora, buonasera. Ma chi? Signore, buonasera. Ho segui. Uè, Gennaro!
Uè!
Oh. Ah, siete voi potete bere. Alla salute.
But even the scene with the priest, the guy who arrives and they sit down, and the black guy, they arrive, they sit down, and they leave.
When he first comes back from the dead, oh, he resurrected. This is great. Okay, well, we're out, man.
Bye.
It's good to see you. You're okay.
Tu sei un molto troppo pulito, però vogliamo dire io fuori adesso no. Vai, Madonna mia, meno male.
Hallelujah.
Glad to know that death thing didn't take.
Yes.
Got some shopping to
and
do.
I also like the fact that he's lying on the left side of the bed, but since there was the camera to get off, he had to just jump and leave on the other side because they didn't have room enough.
But like, even if you're a bad actor or a bad director, there's still a way to treat the weight of a man being resurrected from the dead.
Yes.
That it's just tossed away. We haven't even mentioned, or maybe we did, I don't even know where we are right now. The kid, the fishnet pancake titty lady, and the baby E.T. Dracula are 3 saints that they mentioned by name, I think.
Wait, what?
Enzo mentions by name.
He mentions a couple of saints.
That they're kind of popping in and out of different scenes. The church,
and then at the end there is baby Jesus even.
Yeah, what is that?
Yeah, the big-headed baby Jesus.
That's the mom that goes to the bathroom and check out the ghost in Black Wings, and I'm assuming one of those kids.
Maybe it's
so there's also the padre at the end who's talking to God about.
Signore, tu ci hai ridato la vita a Gennaro, liberandolo dal suo lungo sonno eterno. Sono venuto qui dal passato per porgerti la mia grazia.
Well, also think about that. This seems like I know this mom.
16 minutes.
It's not
16 minutes, and we're forgetting things that happen, and the amount of things that seem
like think of the average mom and her life, put upon life of things she has to do to take care of her family, and then think of some dude periodically being like, "Do you have some time to star in my below subpar berserk internet
I have
videos?"
Your son. I think you can make a few minutes to film this one scene.
Do you think this entire stable that he has is also non-act, or are they even? Is it just he's just harvesting people in his life? Like, hey, do you have time to consistently make internet content? That would be me being like, hey,
he is blackmailing them. He has something on there. Say, hey, if you are not in my movie.
We also saw the one kid. He has the lady's other kid. We saw 2 kids in Black Wings.
But the kid, I think, is a relative of his. I don't know if it's his son.
Oh no, I meant the little Jesus.
Oh, the little.
So what does he do for work?
I don't know.
I have so many questions about this man.
I've seen him being a host on regional television, kind of like PBS, the equivalent of PBS or something like that. So probably he does that mostly.
Because again, it says a lot that Tommy was always wealthy. You understand how the man sustains with that. He just kind of plugs along and just keeps chucking money at these ventures. But Enzo, I mean, again, these aren't big budget things, but he clearly has to do something to support himself.
You don't think he had a big budget for this?
MaJaMa.
Ave Maria, Madre di Dio,
prega per noi peccatori, adesso e nell'ora della nostra morte. Amen.
So it's bedside,
it's
saints, and stable, basically.
It's church with the priest, bedside with the resurrection, Jesus talking to Enzo, telling him to go to the stable.
And what did that lead to?
Nothing.
He met.
And like Matteo says, why does he insert sometimes Jesus answers and sometimes he doesn't?
Per Padre, Figlio e lo Spirito Santo. Farò tutto quello che dice Gesù.
Devi andare alla stalla.
Va bene, incontrerò tuo padre. In una stalla, in una casa vecchia, dove lo incontrerò? La mia fede mi porterà da lui.
If we were brainstorming, okay, guys, the next project is we're taking on the comedy comes from intentionally putting mistakes in. What if we have something where a character is doing voiceovers back and forth? So we just act like he forgot to put him in. So Jesus responds, and for a couple he doesn't. Is that funny? Right? Like someone forgot. Okay, that's good. We'll do that. Write that down. Like because you have what? There's a ratio of him responding and him not, and then after he doesn't respond, we go back to him responding. So what editor who's not a psychopath doesn't catch these things? And mostly, the same question resurfaces.
Va bene. Io gli dirò di salvare il mondo.
Sì.
Va bene, Gesù. In nome del Padre, Figlio e dello Spirito Santo. Amen. Ci posso credere.
There are three possible, that I can see, reasons. One, they forgot to tape those lines, which is absurd because when you ask a guy, could you do the voice of Jesus, here are the lines, you tape all the lines. You don't.
The old gospel hit. When you ask a guy, can you do the voice of Jesus, you tape all those lines.
Exactly. The second is intentional, which is mysterious. The third one that I was thinking about it the second time that I saw that bit is that since he doesn't have any coverage, probably the lines of Jesus didn't fit in the time he left for the silence. So it would have been strange to say, Enzo, you have to go to the... because he would start talking again. Since the Jesus voice is very hieratic and very...
echoey?
Yeah, and solemn, if you will. So clearly say, go to the stable. No, it would have been...
The other thing is, he's good at being... He's good at being goofy on screen.
Yes.
So it's like, if you did try to go all in on an intentional comedy, at least if you centered in it, you are a goofy presence on screen that translates as having energy. Even this, he approaches it with the zeal of someone that likes being goofy on camera. So I'm like, if you did double down on actually trying to make a comedy, I could see you maybe having a shot at presence.
Yeah. I think if he tried to... Has he ever done a straight comedy?
Yes. I mean...
Okay, that's next.
That's
next.
No.
Has he made a movie where he's intending the entirety of the film to be funny?
Yes, he made something that he called comedy, which are...
You can at least tell throughout this is a
Yes,
joke.
The thing is that they are like your dad's Thanksgiving film. One camera on a table, 10 minutes of
6 hours
of hilarious improvisation. He has done a couple of.
He's like the Italian Jim Jarmusch.
Yes, he's done a couple of
Good.
silent movie comedy, and he announced the one that I show you, the peanut on the nightstand. The guy who was passing behind the tree that says, "Oh, help, a mouse for some reason, police."
Wait, was that the movie or that's the trailer?
That was a trailer. So, yes.
So what did you think of my movie? That was the movie and not the trailer, right? I mean, I think that would be obvious.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes, I would
Yes.
think so too.
Because the thing is this, if those as and I personally think that those are the biggest failures, because
Enzo Sorrentino's entire body of work.
no, but among if you have to pluck the best and the worst,
His comedies are his failures.
yes, because comedy is a matter of timing, and those things instead are just like trailing endlessly, and nothing happens, and you see that they just like go on top.
He just clicks play on the tripod, walks away to have lunch, comes back, hits stop,
Yes.
throw it up, boys.
It looks like that they rehearse it on the elevator to go to the apartment to shoot them, and that's it. There is absolutely nothing, no invention or nothing. It's just like people talking, and please don't make me subtitle those because it's just like it's gonna be.
I think no. I think.
I think you should.
I think we need to get.
I think you need to.
I need to watch a comedy to understand this.
Okay.
It just every discussion we have about him is just like.
This is our life now.
Yes. But
No, he's right. We probably should switch to something that at least is said to be intentionally comedic.
yes, because that
I
is
mean,
the
they all
thing.
have bad editing.
Yes, or non-editing at all. But that is the thing. If he sets to make a comedy, he declares it. So, La Polizia Indaga il Crimine, he says, is just like is kind of like a thriller, and there is no need. It's weird that he would make that so bad that it's good intentionally.
Okay,
But that's how
okay.
you would do it if you weren't gonna.
Hold on,
if you
hold on.
weren't. If you were trying to trick people.
Probably.
But I guess I keep coming back to, is he that smart?
Exactly.
Can you imagine if
Well, I mean, it's possible.
Can you imagine if you found out it was the case? Here's my question. He
just seems incompetent.
You have the plus of not having a language barrier, and you were just telling me yesterday you've done interviews. It's been part of your actual work in the past. So
with Enzo?
No. My question is, how would you?
Yeah, how would you, man?
If you were tasked with, hey,
Oh, could you?
let's say you're at the station, they discover these, they're mildly popular, like Matteo, go do a little investigative thing. What would you realistically ask to, you know,
Please,
I'm trying
can
to
I
get
stay here, sir? I'm
like,
scared.
How would you ask him to find out, like, what can you even, what would the process be? Would you just straight up be like, do you?
I mean, you have to ask it with a certain amount of.
Do you intentionally make them in order that they suck? I would probably the only question, or at least the first question I would ask him is,
Because this is going to happen, by the way.
yeah, is what is your process?
Define that word.
Because that is what it sets it up to do something. I mean, right now he's
Buttons. Button.
This one is record.
Button.
I hit that.
This is
I hit
where
that
you
again,
look
and it
to the
stops.
camera, and this is where you film from.
Oh wait, hope's the other way.
The first three
It is the other
movies.
way?
The first three
I
movies.
mean, when you told me this was 2022, I mean, it looks like a 90s VHS tape you dug out of the river. I mean...
Maybe he dug it in 2022.
Do you believe it's possible for a human being to attempt something and just never get better?
Yes.
It's possible for a human to do something and just never...
Edward Jr.
Stop him, Tanner. He's close enough. Turn off your electrode gun. No! No! Stop him, Tanner!
I can't get it, it's jammed!
Stop him, you fool!
Drop the gun to the floor, Tanner. The metal will break contact.
That was too close.
It just keeps going. It doesn't build upon anything. It
He
doesn't.
has enthusiasm,
But like again,
1,000, but talent 0.
Ciao, ciao.
MaJaMa.
I made this last time. Enzo's done a bunch of these. You don't think anything... Like, I feel like if I bumbled through... And I mean, I've never done it without help from people, so I could bumble through a short and have it be this awful. But I feel like if I bumbled through it as much as he did, it would be psychotic to not mildly start to learn.
It would be psychotic to watch it back and be like, oh, well, okay, this is the first... We got to take a couple passes at this. What do you think? How should we do this? Let's cut here. How about you pull that off?
In the end of this one, even they cut the music on a cut. They didn't even did the editing and then laid the music. They laid the music and then they did the cut. So the music
But if you look at something like where the dead guy is lying in bed and there's his body's glowing blue, or the head flying.
Well, I mean, the head is objectively
flying
hilarious
across the room. It's not bad special effects for in terms of if I was to do that, I wouldn't know how.
Yeah.
I don't.
That's why he has
that on camera.
So his effects guy has to know how to do something.
Yeah.
Because that's. I mean,
let's talk about the head.
That's not the most complicated thing to do, but in terms of just if someone's doing effects, doing editing, that's.
Okay. Look.
Let's say to a degree that you can probably fake it with a camera to film something. Start to do effects, you need to be at least one step up. That's the main.
But I mean, compare that effect where you actually have the body glowing or the head flying and decapitated compared to the
mysterious.
Yeah, what is it?
Sono io.
Alla salute. What is it?
I don't know.
But compare that to how badly the photos are put on the wall. That don't even okay, at least
in comparison, this one is a miracle because it works.
You get a photo and you get a frame around that photo and then you key that out and you plant that in the frame, so at least looks like it's not just a random PDF you got thrown into your shot.
There is not a human being on this planet
two different levels of effects
that would see the screaming head. There's not one that would see that and not think that's no human being can see that and not think comedic effect.
Is that his soul leaving?
That's objective.
Coming back?
Sure.
Right?
I don't know.
No one can watch that. Anyone, it doesn't matter. You could be like, you have no knowledge of, you're not a movie nerd, you're not into this stuff, and you would play them that, and you're like, do you take that as a serious moment? I literally think no human being would show them that would be like the director was taking him serious. Not one. No one.
Yeah. It could have been meant to be a jump scare.
I'll grant you that.
I mean, it could have been meant for a lot of reasons, but
it's very strange because also
loop the head scene 20 times.
Is that
do it?
feel like I'm begging for my life and just nothing is getting through to change the fact that I'm about to die. It's just I can't get out what I want to say or ask or express.
We have to talk to him.
Because why is the head leaving him? Because it's going away from him.
Why is it just the head?
When he's resurrecting, and why is it
the
just
head
the head
leaving him? Sounds like what happens to all married guys. He'll have a penchant for decapitation. Look, I can tell them we're gonna have this up for them. You already have the English version. We got Enzo's permission.
Yes,
we got it. Listen, guys, we got Enzo's permission. We contacted the man himself. We said we're translating your movies. Can we put them up? So if anyone out here, and by anyone I mean Paula, these videos are gonna be up on the MaJaMa channel. So you guys, as a supplementary material, when you say, hey, I want to spend even more time in my life with these guys on the internet, you can watch La Placilla Dola. The Path to Resurrection is going to be on this channel with subtitles, so all of our English-speaking friends can go enjoy it. And we are going to get through to Enzo. We will have that for you guys in the future.
Hope I'm dead by that point.
Is there anything we can cover?
Yes, everything.
At least there wasn't a xenomorph, but there was.
But that
the
once
Spanish
again is like,
Inquisition.
okay, yeah, throw Monty Python, throw Travolta.
Oh.
Same thing with Don't Touch Me.
Oh.
Xenomorph.
Oh.
Don't touch
When
me.
I was making my argument for Cannabis knowing what he was doing with the notebook, see Scraps episode 5, I was like, hey, here's a lyric where he mentions Man on the Moon, which I think is a Andy Kaufman reference, which of course would mean he's aware of it. So, now I'm not saying that Monty Python isn't one of the most iconic truths of all time that many people know, yes, but still.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Inserting the Spanish Inquisition would mean you're aware of this zany comedy enough to use it. It's not like someone like, I don't know Monty Python exists, just randomly, oh, this one. I feel like that would indicate he knows and likes Python, which would be, again, throw a penny in the he understands. Python is zany as hell. One might say this is an attempt to be, the over-the-top zany that the Python is.
Python is exquisitely British.
Right. Which is its own beast when it comes to humor.
Yes.
Which is why it's so impressive that the British gave us an award for Best Comedy at the last Comedy Festival. Superimpose something here. A horse tick? Anyway. So, well, I guess you're right. It is a very specific style, so maybe he doesn't.
But
I don't know!
Wouldn't a fellow European
I don't know!
possibly get the humor better than Americans?
No. So the Monty Python, I don't know that he is.
He doesn't have any idea what it is. He's just grabbing clips like an ape with oranges.
Yeah.
If they threw random fruit
in
his cage, and he was just.
Oh, thank you.
Don't make me look on YouTube of ape searching for oranges.
You'll find it. You will find it. Sweet baby Jesus, man.
But that's the thing. I don't know if he's that sophisticated to have. I don't know if he knows about Pulp Fiction, for all it matters.
I mean, unless he's. I mean, I know the.
Do we know his age?
68.
Yeah, 66, 67.
Oh, really?
Something like that.
I mean, the Pulp Fiction thing is a fairly popular meme where you could use it to be like, oh, hey, he's looking around, he's not sure what he's looking for. But why, in a film, and the Spanish Inquisition could be like, oh, it's very funny because no one ever expects it, and here it's popping out of a random spot in my film. But why do people just disappear out of frame and then pop back in?
Yes.
When they're not, at least when the saints do it, it's like, okay, they're
Saints?
magical?
So, yes. And then it's funny because there is a moment during the dialogue, clearly improvised, at the stable, that he says,
Si diceva in giro che c'erano dei frusci nella stanza, qualche cosa. Però non si sa che cosa era.
who knows what they are? He's talking with a guy who's just resurrected. He says, oh, there were some strange, so The resurrection is fine. I get it. But the hisses, I won't tolerate that.
Wait, doesn't...
Is that supposed to refer to the head screaming?
Yeah, it beats me. I don't know.
And why was this guy chosen to come back from the dead?
Aha.
Why did God choose him?
And especially, who the hell was he?
Who is he?
Because we don't see...
Why did Jesus tell Enzo to go to the stables to meet this guy? And then we have a whole separate scene where there's the priest with a neck tattoo sweeping, who then talks to the other two guys that were at the resurrection.
Aha, because...
Why?
I will explain you everything right now. Unfortunately, there's going to be a glitch in the system, and nobody will hear my explanation.
But I'll at least understand it.
You absolutely. So
that's all that matters.
Here it goes.
And we're back. Matteo just explained all of it, and you guys missed it because your system glitched.
Sorry.
That was not a produced effect. I'm sorry, your internet just messed up, and you missed that flawless explanation.
It's a miracle.
Miracolo. È un miracolo.
MaJaMa.
Enzo. Ma che è? Ma siamo su scherzi? Ma che è uno scherzo? Avete fatto uno scherzo? Ma un bel scherzo, eh? Dov'è la radio? La televisione dov'è? Ma... Oddio! Gesù, ma sei tu che parli?
Sono io.
Dio mio, ma sei di gesso?
And what path? The path to heaven?
The path to the righteous man is... See, that's the Pulp Fiction.
Ezekiel 25:17. The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men.
John Travolta is now a popular meme with the... Is he just trying to be a meme lord?
I mean, I think that's... yes,
We've discovered a 60-something Italian man that's trying to exclusively make youth-based meme culture.
The Lord of the memes.
The Lord of the
how
memes.
do you incorporate it into your movie like that?
I don't know.
I want to know
Like,
everything about this man. I don't want to do a show anymore. I just want us to cover Enzo on this channel.
Because you're playing with religious themes, like I said, stereotyping him as a traditional old Italian man. You would think he takes this seriously, believes in God, and would at least use this content somewhat tastefully. And obviously, that's fine to throw in a wink or joke every now and then. But what is he trying to say? What is the point of this?
Does he know who George Lucas is, and was that look inspired by him? Can we please put up 2 side-by-side photos of him in the stable and how Lucas looks?
Do we have a photo of George Lucas at a farm sweeping with a pitchfork?
They say they would catch George out at night on the lily pads, just catching frogs with his tongue. Storing them in that massive neck.
Gesù.
What is George Lucas doing now?
Counting money.
All the money in the world.
He started counting
He's watching them take the franchise away and make it even worse.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
And he says, and it's no longer my fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that Lucas had the intuition that Star Wars had run its course, at least movie-wise.
And that's when he handed it off to have 60 more movies made.
Yeah, no, and he says, okay, give me the money. You can ruin it. I don't care.
I mean, in his defense, the prequels, he had I mean, maybe he didn't have one planned for 4, 5, and 6.
He had passion.
He had an idea for 1, 2, and 3 to at
Yeah.
least connect. You had your start point and your end point. Disney, I don't know how they did a whole new, like, we know we're going to do a trilogy. We know we're going to do a trilogy. How do you not have something planned out to at least be, okay, these are your beats from start to finish. How we get there, we don't know, but at least we know where we're going.
Yeah.
That's just insane.
Yes, that's how to really ruin a franchise.
But I want to know what he actually does with his time. I want to view a day in the life. What is he doing?
Probably reads a newspaper and has a coffee.
I was just asking this question
takes a
the other
nap.
day. I was like, I feel like the people who literally never have to work again never treat life that way. Like the people who actually have enough money that they would never have to work again are probably busy as hell, addicted to the lifestyle,
You're thinking
blazing
about
ahead.
someone like, oh my God, $1 billion is raining down on me versus I crewed this over a period of time. I'm an old man now. I've seen how the industry works. I've been in and out. I've been ripped apart online. I've made several movies. You're talking about like instant money versus, okay, I'm going to gradually adjust to this new lifestyle.
Are we done?
I don't know.
Pretty much, yes, I guess. I think that...
We don't throw paper at the end, but we do say our favorite line at the end of Scraps. And
Yes.
of course, the unanimous answer for all three MaJaMa members is... Because, good Lord, that is funny. Guys, do you think this Enzo content is funny? Paulo, are these things fun to watch? Do you also think it's crazy as hell that Enzo's doing this, guys? Are we just three freaks basically making movie nerd fetish material at this point? We'll be back with way more Enzo. We are going to get that interview. We did get permission to post the movies up. This is our life now. Please
imagine that.
Send help to this apartment.
Yes.
It's on Magnolia. We can't give you the exact address, but look for that sign taped outside that says there's a magic curse and break in and free us. We're all very scared and lonely, and we haven't eaten in a while. And I think Matthew's starting to eat paper. But we love you guys.
It's a lot of fiber.
And bless us with a like or a subscribe if you haven't already. You person that actually watched this, it's weird that you watched it to the end and you didn't click like. Or maybe it's par for the course, but go ahead and do it. There's one person right now that actually did watch this far, and they didn't do that. And it's a moment between us. You're looking into my eyes through this camera, I'm looking into yours. Just go ahead and hit the like.
All right, let's wrap this up. It's getting very sad.
MaJaMa.
And I want you to get out of this office right now. I don't want you here.
Jen, I got your voucher.
Out!